What better way to go through rookie draft season than to go on the clock with me as I make several picks across all of my leagues. We're going to dive into some right now as I walk you through what I'm doing at each of my draft selections and the reasons behind it. The first one we got up is this 12-team Superflex, fairly normal league. As you can see, my roster needs a little bit of work, particularly around the running back position. We've got Dak Prescott at quarterback, Geno, Aaron Rodgers, JJ McCarthy. Running backs is Bear. Wide receivers, I'm okay. Rashee Rice, Juwan Jennings, Chris Olave, and I've got Dalton Kincaid and George Kittle. I'm on the clock with the 102. However, I did put out to the league that I am looking to move back. I don't think this team is one trade away. I'd quite like to build out my running back room, but I'd also like to ideally upgrade at quarterback. So I did indeed make a trade. As you can see here, I moved back from the 102 to the 104. I added in JJ McCarthy and the 202. I got a little bit more secure with Bo Nix, who would be my QB2 behind Dak Prescott. And then I also grabbed the 104, which I think allows me to still take who I want, probably at the 102, but I'm not having to reach for them at that point. So we're going to dive into the draft now. As you can see, no shocks here. Ashton Jeanty went 1. Travis Hunter went 102 with the pick that traded up for myself, and then Cam Ward 103. Now, as I said, I am running back needy. For me, I believe in drafting talent over need, but my ranks have Ted McMillan ahead of Omarion Hampton, but they are literally neck and neck. So in this scenario where I'm very running back needy, I traded back rather than taking Hampton at 102 because I believed the other guys are quarterback and wide receiver needy, so able to add a little asset in the process and still get Omarion Hampton with the 104. So very happy. As you can see, I've also got the 109, the 209 and the 211. So potentially looking to add another running back at the back end of the first round when we do get there. We're going back on the clock with another of my Dynasty teams to walk through what I'm doing in the rookie draft. As you can see, we are here, little bit of a terrible team in a bit of a rebuild scenario. So okay at quarterback, I've got Trevor Lawrence, I've got Kyler Murray. Little bit light at the running back position. There is Tank Bigsby, Ray Davis, and not much else, as you can see. I'd say my wide receiver room is okay, a little bit light. We've got Jordan Addison, Jaden Reed, Xavier Worthy. We've also got Cedric Tillman, Troy Franklin, and then Chris Godwin, Hollywood Brown, Romeo Doubs. Tight end is very, very light. We've obviously got Evan Ingram up top, but not much after that. So we are on the clock with the 104. I've also got the 204 and the 207 in this draft. We'll dive into the draft board. As you can see, pretty chalky so far. Ashton Jeanty, Omarion Hampton, Cam Ward. For me, this is about taking best player available, but as I said, this roster's in a little bit of a tough situation, so I'm looking for more upside. The ranks pick is Ted McMillan, but the upside pick is Travis Hunter. I think with this roster where it is, I'm likely not competing this year, so I'm affording to swing for as much upside as possible. And for me, I think Travis Hunter has got a higher potential outcome than Ted McMillan, so I'm willing to swing for the fences. If it doesn't work out, doesn't matter. I'm likely not contending in 2025 anyway. But if it does work out and Travis Hunter becomes a top 12 dynasty wide receiver, like I think he's got the potential to do, whereas I don't believe Ted McMillan has, it gives me that extra asset that I can then push forward the rebuild and potentially compete this year after making a couple of further moves. So for me, Travis Hunter, the 104 in this draft. Before we dive into my next roster, hit the subscribe button. We're going to be doing Dynasty content all off season, and of course, it's best ball season. Tom and Tyler are going to have you set up for all of those best ball leagues, whether it's underdog drafters, whatever format you're drafting in. This is another league we're going on the clock. As you can see, there's kind of a bit of a theme with some of these rosters that I'm showing you. Okay at quarterback, deep at wide receiver, but big glaring holes at running back. Jordan Love, Drake May. I've then got T. Higgins, Rashee Rice, Ricky Pearsall, Debo, Shaheed. There's also some options in terms of Adon Mitchell on the bench, but the running back room is pretty bare. As you can see, in terms of draft picks, I've got the 102, the 109. I've also got the 208, 211, 212. So got some dart throws in this draft. We're going to dive into the draft room now and show you where we're at. So Ashton Jeanty, 101. I'm on the clock now at the 102. I have tried to move back. For me, I've got my rankings is Hampton, McMillan, Ward in a tier. Travis Hunter's my 5th, but he's kind of my high upside guy. Do I think I'm a running back away from contending? Likely not. So I'm going to stick to my draft board, stick to my values. Cam Ward is my 102. I'm not set at the quarterback position. I've got Drake May, I've got Jordan Love, but I always like to have 3 good options. So let's take Cam Ward, let's take best player available, aim and maybe I can make a true trade down the road. We're going back on the clock with another of my leagues, but if you want my rankings, my rookie model, and 90 film-based player breakdowns, you can hit the join button down below and get the rookie guide, which will set you up for every single one of your dynasty and rookie drafts. We can see this is a fairly decent roster in terms of Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Bryce Young at quarterback. At running back, we've got James Conner, Tony Pollard. There's not a huge amount of depth. I mean, maybe J.K. Dobbins, Jordan Mason is in an okay spot, but lacking a little bit of depth there. Wide receiver, we're in an all right place. Nico Collins, Calvin Ridley up the top. You still got Chris Olave, who, let's be honest, if he comes back fully healthy, could be a top 20 wide receiver. Maybe career is over sooner than we think. Deebo Samuel, Jaden Reed. I've then got some okay depth in terms of Cooper Kupp, Juwan Jennings, Tank Dell, who's going on the IR. And then at tight end, it's in a pretty good spot, George Kittle and Dallas Goedert. So a roster that should be able to contend in 2025 and beyond. We're on the clock now with the 107. I'm a little bit light draft picks in this draft. We've got the 107 and the 407. I have tried moving back a little bit just to add some extra capital, but no bueno there, I'm afraid. As you can see, we're on the clock here. Quinton Judkins, Tyler Warren, Emeka Ibuka, Caleb Johnson, Colston Loveland, all still on the board. I feel like my roster's in an okay place. If I was slightly weaker in one area, it'd be running back, but I'm looking at the board. It's fallen fairly chalky so far. For me, Quinton Judkins is a tier above any other player that's on the board. This is a perfect scenario where draft need fits in with best player available. So Quinton Judkins, come on down. You are joining my roster. We're going to walk you through a fairly standard 12-team Superflex Titan Premium. This is a little bit deeper than your standard league. As you can see, we have got 10 starters. There's 15 bench spots plus 3 in the taxi. So depth is at a premium. Walking through my roster, as you can see here, all right at quarterbacks, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Kenny Pickett, Aaron Rodgers. Very, very thin at running back. I've got Alvin Kamara, and that is pretty much it. Wide receivers, I'm pretty happy. Jamar Chase, Rashee Rice, who I've got as a top 12 dynasty wide receiver. I'm Ridley, Xavier Worthy. There's a few other options on the bench, including Keon Coleman, DeAndre Hopkins, Juwan Jennings. Tight end, I'm really, really pleased with. Travis Kelce, Sam Laporta, Jatavian Sanders, Dalton Schultz. We are going on the clock right now as we speak. I'm sat at the 108. Haven't got a huge amount of picks in this draft. It is a one and done with the 108. We'll walk you through the board. As you can see, fairly chalky. We've got Genti, Hampton. Tyler Warren went with a 103. As I said, it is a Titan Premium, but still a little bit shocked at the price of that one. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Ted McMillan, Trayvon Henderson, and I'm out of the 108. This is the perfect scenario where draft capital and cost meets perfectly. I'm going to grab Quinton Judkins right now and be very happy that I can add a running back where I can be to my stable. It's time to go back on the clock in this league. If you remember, I had the 102. I moved back to the 104, upgraded from JJ McCarthy to Bo Nix, and then drafted Marion Hampton at the 104, addressed my running back need, but allowed me to still go best player available. We're now back on the clock. As you can see, running back is still very much a need. I'll show you the draft room now. As you can see, Genti, Hunter, Ward, Hampton, McMillan, fairly chalky through 5, and then Henderson, Loveland, Judkins. Pretty much as you'd expect in a Titan Premium League. I'm on the clock. Best available, we've got Tyler Warren, Emeka Ibuka, Caleb Johnson, RJ Harvey, Jackson Dart, Matthew Golden. For me, my 109 player is RJ Harvey. This is the perfect situation where need aligns with value. RJ Harvey helps me address my running back need, but also gives me a lot of upside and the best player available. We're going back on the clock. This is another 109 pick. Seems to be the favorite pick that I had this off season. Before I get into walking you through the roster, though, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. As you can see, loaded at quarterback, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes. Not so much after that. Do have some interesting options at running back in terms of James Conner, Aaron Jones, but nobody that I would certainly call a stud. Also have Jalen Warren and Tyron Tracy in there as well. At tight end, I'm absolutely loaded. George Kittle, but then also got David Njoku, Evan Ingram. This is a tight end premium, so pretty happy with there. There's some flex options for me there. Wide receiver, a little bit light. Got Taysom Hill, got Drake London, but no huge options. I mean, Amari Cooper, and then it gets pretty ugly pretty quick. So obviously running back is a need. Wide receiver is a need. We're going to dive across to the draft board, and I'll walk you through the picks so far. So we've got Genty, Hampton, Ward, Hunter, McMillan, standard top 5. Warren at the 106, a little bit surprised to see him go that early. And then we've got Henderson, Loveland. As I said, I feel like I could go anywhere in this draft outside of probably quarterback, but Quinton Judkins, didn't expect him to be there at the 109. Feel like that's great value. When Warren goes that bit early, it means someone like Judkins falls, and yeah, happy to scoop him up with the 109. Add him to my roster. I feel like I can probably address my wide receiver need, maybe later in the draft. Maybe I can make a move for a veteran somewhere over the next couple of weeks, but I truly think this roster could compete. Do you agree with the Judkins picks? Do you agree that this roster could compete? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, I'll keep going on the clock as we walk through all of my rookie drafts.